But Waylon and I were especially good friends, and I have a vast library of Waylon Jennings jokes. So, not jokes per se, but stories. By the way, could I have a little more level on my fullback when I'm singing? Because basically all I can hear is the echo, which is cool. It kind of sounds like, I don't know, like monks or something. But just a little more of the real me in there. So I kind of cycle around with these Waylon Jennings stories. And tonight I'm going to tell you one of my favorites is that I had found a piece of real nice turquoise shaped like an oak tree. And I wanted Waylon to have it. And I drove up to the Riviera Hotel at Lake Tahoe, and he was playing up there. And this was at the height of the outlaw, controversy in Nashville, where he and John Paul and Willie had split off and had gone off over to Austin and were starting their own Nashville over there, and everybody was all excited about that. Waylon said, will the last person leaving Nashville please turn out the lights? Which everybody thought was really funny, except for Roy Acuff and Chet Atkins. They didn't think it was too funny. And so anyway, he was, I guess maybe drinking a little bit. Playing these wild, crazy, sort of Hank Williams Jr. kind of things. And he always used to go on stage. He went on at Harrah's that night wearing black, and he had the red, the concho belt on, and a black hat, and a big black guitar, Fender guitar, and black boots, and he had everything on but the spurs. And went out. And he really looked like the bad guy in a B Western, and he went out and he sung all these songs about drinking and about beating on his wife and leaving home and fighting, and I don't know what all. So afterwards we were in the dressing room, and this lady came in from the Ladies' Home Journal, who had come to do an article about Waylon Jennings, and she just ripped into him like you just had to be there. Thank God I wasn't. She said, Mr. Jennings, she said, I came all the way up here to do an interview with you. She said, that was just the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen, that you would present a show like that with children in the audience who drink about drinking and drugs and infidelity and domestic abuse. And she said, she went down the list, And he was laying on the couch because he just got off. He was just laying over there with his hat, like he was always, it was like talk to the hat, and it was like the hat was like, and so she just, finally she says, so I just wanted you to know that because I'm not doing an interview with you tonight. This is her big finish, And so out from under the hat came this voice and said, you know something, lady? About a week ago, my give a shitter broke. Yeah, I was there that night. I don't tell that one very often. I don't know, sometimes I look at the crowd and I go, no, this crowd ain't gonna go for that song. I have this new album out called Just Across the River. I don't know whether some of you may know something about it. It's the first album that I've ever charted. It's sitting right now at number 80 on the pop chart, which is like a miracle for me. It has some guest appearances by some wonderful people. One of the songs that I did on it, I wrote for Arlo Guthrie many years ago, and I decided that I would re-record it and do it as a duet with Benny Gill, who's one of my compatriots and partners and brothers from the state of Oklahoma. We proud to say we're Okies, and we've done a lot of work for the state down through the years. We wrote this, actually wrote in 2007, we wrote the Centennial Song for the state of Oklahoma together. And of course, he's married to Amy Grant, and I've worked with Amy on a lot of projects. So it's kind of like family. So the very first cut you'll hear on Just Across the River is this, I think, this fantastic rendering of Oklahoma Nights with Vinny's help. Of course, he's not here tonight, but what are you going to do? I can't pull him out of my, you know what. It's like at the beginning of the album, it's like I'm going to take you on a trip, so I'm kind of saying to you, put the top down on this old Mustang, buy us a bottle of wine, head down south to see the old gang. I wanna see some friends of mine, I wanna see some friends of mine, good loving people whose hearts are kind. Find that little town that's in the back of my mind. Oklahoma nights, I will never forget you. Oklahoma, wind comes sweeping through a sky full of lights, while he's singing of their endless flights. Put a lamp in the window, mama, tune it up right. Lead me back to those Oklahoma nights. Oklahoma. When we get out to the barn dance, we'll hear that rockabilly band singing about some hopeless romance. We will know we're home again. We will know we're home again. Panhandle people, they understand. Wipe that little tear off the back of my hand. Oklahoma nights, I will never forget you. Oklahoma, wind comes sweeping through a sky full of lights, while he's singing of their endless flights. Put a lamp in the window, mama, tune it up bright. Lead me back to those Oklahoma nights. Oklahoma nights. Put the top down on this old Mustang.